I haven't looked into this guy much, but I saw one video and I had to call this guy out. So let me just tell you, I think that if I start to look into him, I'm going to see a lot more. But I want to clarify something. And the main purpose of this is to clarify the disinformation that he discusses on a recent video, perhaps a new video that he has posted. I guess, yeah, this is the most recent video we're talking about here. So I'm going to address this, and it's very important. It's complete disinformation, and that's the main purpose of this. But before I get to that, I want to address some things about this guy. Now, once again, I haven't looked into this guy. I remember running across him when he was defending, to some degree, he was undermining the issues with the FTX influencers when he was on CoffeeZilla's channel. And, you know, he's in the circle jerk. All these guys hold hands together, sing kumbaya. How can we get more subscribers? Let's help each other sell more ads and fuck our subscribers. Let's put our subscribers into harm's way and make money, right? So you got this guy. Apparently he's an attorney, and red flag number one, you all know what it is. He's wearing a suit. Anyone who wears a suit, who doesn't need to, when he's talking to people, he's trying to swindle you somehow. He's trying to make you think he's important. He's official. He's legitimate. Because, you know, it's kind of like the Lambo lifestyle that these trading gurus pitch, right? Never be fooled by superficial things. Always focus on the content, right? Anyone who tries to come across some way, shape, or form superficially, that's a big red flag. Always. And, you know, it's also these traders with their multiple screens in the background, right? Their trading screens. Oh, wow. Oh. So let me address some of the smaller points here before we get into this video. So you may have noticed the first point on here is improper affiliate disclosure. Wow. Say, wow, Mike. I mean, wow, that's a big claim. He's an attorney. He should know about proper affiliate disclosure, right? Well, guess what? Maybe he's not too much of a competent attorney. Maybe he's a little fucking sloppy because he doesn't have the appropriate affiliate disclosure. You can't just post something at the bottom. You have to post right next to your affiliate link the proper disclosure. You can't post it at the bottom. Notice it's all the way down at the bottom. Now, sorry, attorney guy, you fucked up. And that tells me you're not competent. Of course, you're on YouTube, which tells me you're not competent and or you're kind of a failure in your career. Real professionals aren't on YouTube pitching their shit. Failures are. Okay? Boom! I've been saying this. It's not just you, boy. I've been saying this from day one because it's a fucking fact. Legitimate people aren't on YouTube pitching their fucking business. You got it? Especially attorneys, right? So what happened to this guy? I'm not going to get into, whatever. He wasn't cutting the mustard. So he goes on YouTube, right? Think about it. How many attorneys out there, and there's a lot of attorneys, there's too many in America, right? We got plenty of them. How many are on YouTube every day, right? So, he doesn't really have any shame. And I guess he's kind of given up to some degree. And he wants to reach the kids. He wants to sell ads, right? He wants to sell ads. He doesn't care about the fact that scammy ads play on his channel. So think about it. This is a guy who, and let me show you here. So his channel, he goes over a lot of things. He covers some scams and some things like that. And And this is another guy, by the way. I've been meaning to talk about this fucking clown, right? This guy, doctor, real doctor. No, real doctors aren't on fucking YouTube. You're not a real fucking doctor. You can be licensed, I don't care. You're a fake fucking doctor. You're not fucking practicing full-time medicine, okay? What a fucking, these people are losers, man. Get the fuck off of ScamTube, guys. You notice they meet because they're both in the same business, okay? The same business of, well, okay, I'm a practicing attorney. I'm going to go on YouTube. No, if you're a real fucking attorney, you're spending your time preparing for court, in trial. That's what you're doing. You're not on YouTube, okay? Same with a doctor. So the guy's obviously a cheeseball, right? Take a look at him, listen to him, listen to how he talks. He kind of reminds you of Meet Kevin, right? Let's listen to Meet Kevin here.
Hey everyone, thank you so much for considering this program on Mastering Your Money. You're here because you want to grow your net worth.
Is this Kevin's older brother, right? With a dumber haircut, right?
At least that's...
Is it? Could be. I mean, I don't know. Listen.
Hey, legal eagles, I think the legal system...
You notice, by the way, you hear how he talks? I think this is a con artist approach. You all know this, right? This is his very scripted, intentional kind of a used car salesman, right? You all know this, right?
I think the legal system is fascinating.
I mean, did he learn? I mean, did these guys go to the same school of like talking like a used car salesman? That's what I want to know. So, first and foremost, I don't know about you. I would never trust anyone who talks like this, like Kevin. It's the pseudo-intellectual. Talk really fast. Fast talkers, okay. Need I say any more other than two words? Jim Cramer, right? Yeah. Let's move on. So we showed you the improper affiliate disclosure. Okay. This is not proper. This is not proper. Mr. Stone, like Roger Stone. Interesting name, by the way. Really interesting, not surprised. Boom! Any of you all know what I'm talking about there. If you don't, do a little investigation. Anyway, this is not, you might want to look into proper affiliate disclosure. You can't do that. You see, you got your affiliate links at the top and you got your disclosure at the bottom. It doesn't work. Look it up. Do a little research, legal boy. Okay? Okay. Selling ads for scammers. That's right. His channel is monetized. This is a guy who wants to tell you he's an attorney. He's an honest guy. He comes. Well, you all know what they say about attorneys, right? So you shouldn't be surprised that he's got his hand out. He's got his hand out, and this is a grown man. A grown man who's educated. He's on YouTube pitching bullshit, stupid nonsense to kids to sell ads, many of which are from scammers on his channel, right? I'm not going to go in order here, but the preaches disinformation. Now, I haven't looked at many of his videos, not many at all. So I don't know what this only refers to this most recent video, the stakes, the most important election of our lifetime. I can't speak for the other videos, but basically what I've seen just in the very small amount of time I've kind of perused a couple of his videos is that it appears that most of his videos, he just basically reads, what's going on. He doesn't really give any insightful, critical analysis because he's not really a legal expert. I guess before YouTube, he was practicing maybe less than 10 years or around 10 years. And just like with everything, I've always said this, bare minimum, no matter what you're doing in this world, whatever career it is, you need at least 10 years to begin to be a legitimate person in that field. And attorneys, it's probably a little more. It's probably 12 years or a little more. 10 years. I don't care, no matter what you are. If you're a fucking plumber, if you're a carpenter, if you're an engineer, it doesn't matter. 10 years at least. That's my opinion. It's not a fact. It's just my opinion. To learn the ropes. But anyway, so it appears that most of the stuff he just basically caters to stupid crap, right? Catering to kids, right? Just little nonsense. Whatever he thinks is gonna get the clicks, the ad clicks, right? Which okay, that's fine if you want to. If you have no shame, and you're basically not successful as an attorney. Okay, become a YouTuber and sell ads. Help support the scam platform on YouTube, right? Now, apparently he's gotten into some education platform where he sells education. So he's not really, he's kind of in the business of law, not really practicing law too much, it appears. Okay. So let's take a look here. Let's go back to this page. We'll take a look at his Wikipedia, which is interesting because maybe he paid someone to put this entry here. Why does he have a Wikipedia page? You'll notice there's nothing here that he's done. Everything here is based upon YouTube, practically. Just about. Right? So it's basically he's trying to market himself. I would say he probably paid somebody or did it himself. He's probably smart enough not to do it himself. Paid someone to post this, to market. And that's all these people they do with Wikipedia is just to market themselves. Because there's nothing relevant. He's not a relevant person. What? He's a YouTuber that makes him relevant? I don't think so. So, and notice, these references are all like 2021, 2022, 2023, 2024. Okay? I mean, he just got out of school, I don't know, around the financial crisis. He's a fucking child. Anyway, whatever. So here's his Eagle team. The Eagle team. You want to join the Eagle team? What team? It's fucking you. Right? Look, most popular legal channel on YouTube. Dude, you're a grown man. Why would you, that's what your career highlight is? Fucking loser. Loser. That's right. Loser. So he's going on YouTube to basically pitch his little service, which I'm assuming he gets attorneys to sign up for and pay a fee. And you sign up. If you got a problem, you put your name in, put your contact, and that goes to an attorney in the geographical location where you are. So it's kind of a leads. Does he explain that? I doubt it. He probably should, right? He just tells you, free, sign up for free. Well, where's your data going, right? Who knows? I don't know. I don't know where it's going other than these attorneys. So you're going to have a bunch of parasites contacting you, right? Take a look. Any type of claim. Looks like ambulance chasing type of stuff, right? Injury, a data breach, cancer, workers' comp, social security disability, car crash. So this is kind of what I guess his main purpose is, his main business. He basically has this little system where, he sells. I would say he's selling this to it. If you want to join the network, right? The attorney's got to pay probably a monthly or yearly fee to access the data. Okay. I don't know about you guys, but let me just tell you something. If you're putting out your information out there just blindly, that's a goddamn fool's game. You're stupid. In fact, many of these companies, they claim they don't sell your data, and they actually do. Many of them. In fact, I think it was a big company. One of these resume companies got sued because it was found out they were selling data. Folks, data, big data, that's the name of the game. But anyway, I don't know what's going on here, but I wouldn't trust any site with my data. That's why I don't sign up for social media, never have, never will, including LinkedIn, any of that fucking stupid nonsense. Never been foolish enough to get involved with it. But anyway, this is what he wants to do. This is his business. Okay. Are you a real attorney? I would say no. I would say No. Okay. I mean, you can say you are. You've practiced for a few years, what have you. But I know real attorneys, and they're not going to go on YouTube. They're doing their business, right? You are what you do. If you're spending most of your time in the field of law, litigating cases, then I would say you're an attorney. If you're spending most of your time making YouTube videos, making YouTube content, doing other things related to that, and educating, I would say you're not really a lawyer. You're maybe a lawyer influencer, right? Maybe that's what we'll call you, an attorney influencer, an attorney educator, right? But anyway, I just wanted to kind of lay that out there. So we'll get to his FTX apologist video here shortly. Cheesy clown, I've already shown you that. Looks and sounds like, speaks like Meet Kevin. And the e-begs. Let's take a look. E-begging. Let's see here. So I haven't looked too much, but I did see one thing where he wants to sell you early access to his, here you go. Watch my next video early and ad-free on Nebula. Sign up. Give me money. Look, I'm selling suits. Here's his little affiliate links, right? And then here, he wants to sell you an ebook. Get my guide to law schools. Buy my book. Okay. Your book, what ebook? It's $5, right? I'd say $5, right? Let's say. I mean, you should give it for free. Get all these subscribers. You're making all this money off ads. Oh, it's only $129, right? $129. What a fucking scam. Fucking scam, dude. 120. So he's got 4 million subscribers, 129. I mean, seriously? No. I can guarantee you're going to get more and better information from someone who's written a book on it. But he wants to charge $129. Even though he's already got you lined up, making money with all these ads coming through. I mean, it kind of tells you about this guy. Money worshiper? Shameless? I mean, look at this. Meet Kevin, right? Discount. Coupon. I mean, what? Really? Cheesy motherfucker, dude. You're a cheesy motherfucker. And you're a failure. Your parents must be proud. You're a YouTuber. Loser. Loser. That's what this guy is. Now, so that's what really set me off. I wasn't happy when he was basically lining up to undermine the FTX influencer scammers, which is what he did.
Entire case rests.
So by the way, so he's wearing his suit. He's got his green screen there with his fake background. You all know it's fake, right? What a loser. Dude, you're a loser in my book. You're a fucking loser. You remind me of Meet Kevin. You're just like Meet Kevin. As far as I'm concerned, you talk like him, you look like him, you're pitching cheesy-ass little coupons, selling shitty-ass ebooks and shit like that. I mean, your courses, right? How to get into law school? I'm going to get a course. Fucking loser. You're a loser. Devon James Stone. You're a loser.
On a part of the Florida law that the plaintiffs claim connects the endorsers to FTX. I'm very skeptical of this. The section in question extends liability to any director, officer, partner, or agent for the seller if they personally participated or aided in the making of a sale. And if you're on YouTube or if you're a celebrity endorser, you're not a director of the company, you're not an officer, you're not a partner, and you're not an agent.
Yeah, no, you are a partner. Maybe not a formal partner, but you're a business partner. And of course, this guy is covering up for these YouTube scammers. Remember, Tom Nash, Meet Kevin, Andrew Jick, Graham Stephan, this dude with the fucking, looks like he came out of a genie's bottle. What's his name? This Jung girl who's married to, one of the group, which explains why they're involved in all this shit. The agency that is scamming everybody, that's filling all these scam ads on YouTube. this Bit Boy, whatever, and what's that one dude? I forgot the Asian kid's name. But anyway, of course he's gonna, because he's a YouTuber. That's his community. He wants to tell you you can't get in trouble. Now, I mentioned this about this lawsuit. The problem is the law firm that was suing these people, the Moskowitz in Miami, they were fucking lightweights. They're a bunch of fucking lightweights. They just wanted to sue them, to get them to settle, just to make some quick, easy fucking money. And that's disgusting to me. Okay? But this guy goes through and basically says the lawsuit doesn't have any merit. Okay? And I don't agree at all. I don't agree. FTX, and of course, the official verdict is not out on it. I don't know. Of course, the SEC is, I'm not going to get into the SEC, but the reality is that FTX, and I think it's completely valid whether they've issued the official on it or not, was selling unregistered securities. So everybody involved promoting FTX, getting paid to promote FTX, was involved in soliciting a company that was selling unregistered securities. Think about that. That's a big fucking deal, right? So, and of course, once again, CoffeeZilla, he had an opportunity to come out and say, you know what? I promoted Tom Nash a long time ago. I'm not proud of it. Turns out he lied about his credentials many times, and I built this channel. He is a fraud. I apologize. He even defrauded people on FTX, right? Think about that, folks. I'm telling you, you got to get it through your fucking head. Every single one of these motherfuckers monetizing on YouTube is not to be trusted. They are fucking scamming you in one way, shape, or form. They don't care. They're pitching their shit. They're selling ads. They're pitching all their content to sell ads to you. They're business partners with people selling ads. Think about that. And the ads are primarily scam ads. So they're partnering with people to sell scam ads. They know scam ads are all over YouTube. They're taking that dirty fucking money and they're saying, when you confront them, they're saying, I don't know what YouTube's putting on my videos. I don't approve of anything, right? But they're agreeing to lease their space to YouTube for money. And they're saying, basically, put anything there that you want to. Okay? To me, that's very scammy. And they're not even saying anything. They know what they're doing, folks. All these people know what they're doing. But it doesn't even, they won't even do the most basic thing. They won't even provide proper affiliate to FTC affiliate disclosure. They won't even do that. All these motherfuckers, they think they're above the law. They won't even do the most basic thing to inform their customers, properly inform their customers of their financial motivations. So, Cheesy Clown, let me go back and show you the Meet Kevin thing here.
That's what I'm guessing, because who doesn't want a larger net worth?
Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow. You'll
Unmastering your money. You're here because you want to grow your net worth. I think the legal system is fascinating. Love it or hate it, the law affects everyone in virtually everything that we do.
There you go. They got to be, well, I know they're related. I know that. Maybe distant, but I know that. Sells garbage on YouTube. So what garbage am I referring to? Well, let's look a little bit more. Here's some garbage here. Copyright course premium. Right? He's going to sell you a course on getting into law school. Right? Or what? Can't decide. I mean, look at this topic. Can't decide if you should go to law school. driving yourself crazy with applications, nervous about life as a 1L. I mean, look at these fucking stupid, they're not even softball topics, right? I mean, imagine you've got people who publish, high level things, important stuff, and they don't even charge $129. You understand? The whole game, folks, is getting the subscribers. Once you got the subscribers, you got a fucking cult of stupid people, and you can sell them shit on a stick, and they're going to line up for it. You see? You got it? You see what I'm saying? That's the reality. So, let's take a look here. Rocket Money. So you can see he's got his affiliate link, another affiliate. I mean, it's affiliate link. I mean, you're a grown man and you're spending your time making cartoon thumbnails with your face distorted. Dude, are you 12? You're a loser. You're a fucking loser. You got no fucking shame, right? Spending his days making cartoon thumbnails. Dude, do you understand you're like 45 or something like that? Right? What a fucking loser. Anyway, let's take a look. Rocket Money. Start saving with Rocket Money. Managing your finances starts here. Okay. Rocket Money. Let's take a look. Rocket Money. But anyway, look, it's free. Sign up for free. Free. Right? Okay. Oh, look, it's featured in Money and Forbes, Wall Street. Remember, folks, any company that tells featured in and puts the stuff there, you know what that means. Red flag, probably a scam. Okay. I mean, I've been studying this shit for years, I can tell you. It's obvious. So take a look. Here's what you do. Rocket Money. Scam. Folks, I can tell you almost with 100% certainty, virtually guaranteed, every single affiliate link, every company on an affiliate marketing plan, you can be almost guaranteed they're going to be a scam or very scammy. Okay? What does that mean? It means that most of these affiliate links, if not virtually all of them that you see on YouTube and everywhere else, are scams or scammy, very scammy. And I mentioned even NordVPN is very fucking scammy. They ripped me off. I had to contact my credit card company to get a charge back because they fucking swindled me. That's right. Remember that. Every single company with an affiliate link program, an affiliate program is a scam, is scammy. Now let's take a look here. Trustpilot's a fucking scam rating service, by the way. You can pay them. Look, looks like Dave Ramsey's pumping Rocket Money too. You see that? Here you go. So they were sued. By the way, Rocket Money was sued. The complaint alleges that the manipulative design of Rocket Money's interface and its misleading representations to consumers are unfair, deceptive, and abusive practices under the Dodd-Frank Act. While Rocket Money advertises itself as free, the labyrinth design of its sign-up process extracts fees from users. Rocket Money also advertises strong data privacy practices to users, claiming, that it takes data privacy very seriously, like the most seriously, and promising its users that will never sell your data. But provisions in Rocket Money's privacy policy contradict these promises, acknowledging that Rocket has shared personal information with third parties or affiliates in exchange for valuable consideration. Moreover, Rocket Money operates as a consumer reporting agency but fails to abide by the requirements for the consumer reporting agency set out in the Fair Credit Reporting Act. For example, it shares reports about consumers without having a permissible purpose to do so. Rocket Money likewise obtains and abuses its customer credit reports to engage in self-promotional marketing, another violation of the FCRA. There you have it. Okay. So, Legal is in bed with this fucking scammy company. He's making money every time people give their email. Tell me he's not promoting scammy companies. And in fact, he may not know of the scam ads running on his channel, but he knows about these affiliate links. He's signed up for the affiliate program. Every single affiliate-based company with an affiliate program, write it down, take it to the fucking bank. They were either scammy, engaging in scammy practices, or will be doing so in the future. In other words, maybe a company hasn't scammed people yet. Just give it some time. Just wait until they collect a bunch of dipshits from social media influencers, right? Write it down. I can almost guarantee you every single one of these companies doing that. And in fact, NordVPN is a great example of a company where you would think is legit, is not scammy, is fine, right? But guess what? I've got my own personal experience. They scammed me. They defrauded me. They lied to me, and they wouldn't give me my money back after promising me something and then charging me much more than what they had advertised. And they tried to tell me, oh, you've passed the 30-day mark where there's no refunds. After, of course, I didn't realize until after 30 days. Well, guess what, folks? Your credit card company doesn't have a fucking limitation. Okay? They don't have a limitation on that shit. If you've been defrauded, okay, there ain't no limitation. That's why you should always use a credit card. Don't ever use a fucking debit card. You're not protected with debit cards. Credit card's the way to go. That's the only reason why I use a credit card, other than I have to, for booking of airline tickets and shit, hotels. But I would always use one. I never use an ATM, never use a debit card, because you don't have protection. Okay? And as you saw, right, Dave Ramsey is also pitching this fucking bullshit. Dave Ramsey's also pitching this bullshit. So, let's see. Trusted services. I'm sure Rocket Money is here. Where's the... See, Dave Ramsey makes all this money through kind of affiliate relationships. And he doesn't disclose that. Like, Dave Ramsey is the first person who should have right on his fucking page, I make most of my money through promoting affiliates. I get paid off. So in other words, he'll probably have something somewhere after you've already clicked, after you made that psychological decision to go ahead and click on, right? Let's see. Or he probably has the affiliate disclosure he doesn't have anywhere here at the bottom. I mean, this guy should be sued, FTC. Dave Ramsey should be sued. He's not disclosing this. These are his trusted services. He doesn't tell you that he trusts them because he's getting fucking paid. You see? He's getting fucking paid by these motherfuckers. I'm gonna get into this motherfucker in the future, Ramsey. I've already exposed him as a fucking scam artist. No doubt about it. But I might actually do the investigation to and get the FTC on this guy. I might, if I think about it, want to spend the time. But it's pretty obvious what's going on with this guy. Not to mention his bad advice. He also is a guy who tells you to buy front-loaded mutual funds and don't buy the S&P. His funds beat the S&P. Buy his funds. He never tells you what his funds are. Oh, well, my guys, they beat the S&P. Oh, well, really? What's your guy? Tell us the funds. Show us the data. Okay, remember, Dave Ramsey, red flag. How many fucking red flags have I given you guys? Like 100? You can write a fucking book. If you're going to write the book, Detecting Scammers and Frauds and Con Men, you better give me fucking credit because I'm giving you all the rules here. Red flag, I told you guys. Anyone who commingles religion with selling anything, especially investments, you write it down. They're a motherfucking scammer. Take it to the fucking bank. They are fucking swindling you. Okay? It kind of goes in with the superficial, right? The superficiality thing where I'm wearing a suit. Well, look at the Lambo, right? Throw in the religion. You see? But the religion is a much more powerful marketing tactic because it reels in the religious zealots, the crackpots, the religious. Hey, he's a religious guy. Oh, okay, I trust him. He's a man of God. You see? We say God doesn't want you to be wealthy. God doesn't want you to have a lot of money. Okay? Because God knows money corrupts. Anybody that says all this bull is a fucking liar and a fraud. In fact, I'm not really a religious person, but I would say people that tell you this bullshit that God wants you to be wealthy and rich, I would say they're working for the devil. I think I've gone over everything now. Now let's go over the most important thing. And once again, this is the only disinformation that I know that I can't say that he's complete disinformation, but I don't know. I haven't seen his videos. I would say probably he's not disinformation until potentially he gives his viewpoint. Because this guy's basically, he reads the legal filings and just tells you what's going on. But in terms of his insight, I don't think he's really exactly, one of these critical thinkers, to be honest with you. And maybe that's why he's not practicing law. Or maybe, he doesn't have the court presence. I don't think you're going to get too far in the courtroom with the judges or convincing your case if, you come across as like a ShamWow guy. I mean, think about it for a second, right? ShamWow, like Meet Kevin.
At least that's what I'm guessing.
I mean, think about it. If you sound and look like this guy,
who doesn't want a larger net worth?
Right? Hi, it's Vince with ShamWow.
You'll
be saying wow every time you use this towel. It's like a chamois.
I don't think you're going to be too successful in the courtroom if you're kind of like a used car salesman, a fast-talking used car salesman, like Mr. Legal Eagle, Mr. Devon Stone, and Mr. Kevin Pathrath. That's just my opinion, my guess, I would say. Let's get to the video now. The most important election of our lifetimes. So here's where I took offense at this video. I took offense because, and by the way, this guy's got his whole cult fooled. He's helping us. He's here to help us. Right? Oh, thank you. Folks, you guys got to step it up a little bit. You got to step up your fucking brain. These people are not here for you. Remember, they're putting you in harm's way, pitching affiliate scams and selling their channel, partnering with YouTube to pitch scam ads. They're monetizing their channel. They know. Think about it. This is a guy, he covered FTX. He talked about it in the crypto scams, right? He knows there's scam. I mean, he knows these guys know, CoffeeZilla knows, they know how FTX and all the crypto guys and all the trading scammers, how they reach people through ads on YouTube. Yet, guess what? They're willing to take money from these guys to sell ads. They're partnering with YouTube to do that. Think about it, folks. These guys, you could argue, are worse than the scammers. You could argue that. Why? Because these guys are coming across like, oh, okay, I'm going to help you people. And then they're turning around and giving them the big fuck in the ass. They're shoving the big hot poker in their ass from behind. So the people don't even know they're getting the hot poker. They don't know who's giving them the hot poker in their ass. So you could argue they're even worse. Think about that. Think carefully about that, folks. These are people, especially people like this guy, CoffeeZilla, so on and so forth. They're coming across, I'm gonna fight the corruption. I'm gonna show you how it is. I'm gonna expose these people. I mean, think about that. And they're monetizing their channel. Right? Think about that. Selling all kinds of garbage, rocket money. And I haven't gone through, just go through the affiliate. I mean, just see what else is. I don't know what else is there. This is just something I saw quickly. So this is the main point of this stream. I wanted to talk about this. This is where the point preaches disinformation comes in. And this is absolutely critical. And I know I've already lost most people. It's too long. You need to cut it down. Hey, dick fuck. You're not going to get anywhere in your life if you want something quick. That's what the whole world is designed around. Making something quick, make you impulsive, make you fucking stupid like a goddamn monkey. You got it? Same with the whole dumb phone. Somebody asked me the other day, oh, I can't access your website on a smartphone. It doesn't. You looking at my website on a dumb phone? I don't want to. You can get the fuck out of here. I'm not going to fucking have my site for a dumb phone. Folks, you on your goddamn dumb phone, you're becoming dumb and dumber. That's what they want. Same thing with ScamTube. Same thing with all the social media. Same thing with Twitter, right? You got all these fucking psychopaths on Twitter just sitting there all day, just spewing all their horse shit and distracting everybody, and they're wasting their fucking lives. And they're wasting everyone's lives. Yeah. And they don't realize they're all being played. They're being played by the kingpins on Twitter. Who are the kingpins? The kingpins who've aligned themselves with Elon Musk, who are making all the money, right? While these people are they're throwing their lives away, bitching and moaning and complaining about stuff. Meanwhile, they don't get how it's played. Elon Musk is manipulating all these fucking people for money. Okay? I might go, maybe I'm going to fucking go on Twitter and do one of those those live streams and start fucking slamming Elon Musk and Alex Jones and Tucker Carlson fucking scammers, slam the fuck out of all of them. Maybe I should do that. Somebody tell me how that works. Start my own live video stream on Twitter. Go after all those motherfuckers on Twitter, right? And then on Twitter, I've got a little more freedom of speech. I can talk about the fucking parasites that have run the fucking world. And I can disclose all the facts. What do you think about that one? What do you think? I think Twitter's, I think it is pretty good about free speech to some extent, as long as it's within the law. Now, if you start going after Elon Musk, you're going to find yourself shadow banned, I think. Right? So this guy, he releases a video. It's a political video. He wants to tell you, you're thinking about, I see the title, okay. He wants to tell you it's important because of this. And what it turns out being basically is slamming Donald Trump. And I looked at his channel. He's got a lot of videos slamming Trump before. So he obviously has a bias, right? So he's showing you he's unprofessional. Well, of course, he's not really professional. Don't think he is. He's wearing a suit, right? Why do you think he's wearing a suit? Because he knows he needs to cover up. He knows he needs some way to show you he's professional. Because otherwise, he ain't going to be. Why? Well, he's an attorney on YouTube. It's monetizing his channel, allowing scam ads to play, pitching scammy affiliate links, selling all his fucking garbage, not even posting a proper affiliate disclosure. If you don't believe me, affiliate disclosure, just check. It's pretty fucking easy. FTC. You can look at it right now. Let's see what we got here. So look at that. Links in site navigation are not adequate disclosures. Simply linking to your disclosure in the header, footer, sidebar, or other site navigation is not enough to satisfy. Disclosure must appear before affiliate links. Before! Think about it. You think this guy's a credible fucking attorney? He can't even get an affiliate disclosure correct? Are you fucking kidding me? Maybe I'm a more competent attorney than this motherfucker. Huh? Think about it. Your FTC disclosure must appear before the link leading to the brand's website or product listing. You got it? The FTC advises that the disclosure should appear as close to the beginning of the content as possible, or where the audience is likely to first look within the content. A disclosure at the bottom of a page or article will not likely be considered compliant. There you go. You think that this, take a look. So remember, you've got to open this up. How many people are going to fucking open this up? You see, he intentionally puts his affiliate links right here. You got it? You see that? You think this guy's honest? You think this guy's abiding by the law? He's an attorney. He has no fucking excuse. You can contact the FTC and report this motherfucking shyster right now. Dude, what are you doing, man? You got no excuse. You of all people, you're an attorney. What the fuck? Now, this guy used his social media presence, his YouTube channel, to get a teaching position at Georgetown University. Adjunct professor. So it means he's basically a part-time teacher. This is even a bigger deal now. So you got a teacher, call up Georgetown, say, what kind of law school do you have when you got one of your fucking teachers there who can't even abide by the Federal Trade Commission's guidelines on affiliate disclosure? Not to mention the fact that he's whoring himself out to scammy companies like Rocket Money, which already has a complaint and lawsuit by a government agency against it. Not to mention the fact that he is monetizing his channel. Lord knows how many scam ads are going on each video. I don't know. Right? Think about this stuff, folks. Think about this. Isn't Georgetown an elite university? Well, I guess you could think so. I never thought so. I mean, it's a basketball university. I mean, I went to an elite university. I went to an Ivy League. I wouldn't consider Georgetown elite. But even if it is, I mean, think about who this guy is. He's privileged, right? He's in that privileged class, is he not? Mr. Devon Stone. So, you know, wink, 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 wink. You understand? Let's take a look here. Here you go. There you go. So this guy is not using proper disclosure. So let's take a look at his little bio here. Let's see what they have to say about him. Okay. When he's not in the court or classroom, basically when he's not in the classroom or his YouTube fucking studio. Okay. Runs the world's most popular legal YouTube. I mean, this is what they have to say about one of their teachers. He runs a YouTube channel. Georgetown Law. Fucking losers. Loser. What a fucking joke. No accomplishments. I mean, look at this. Basically, like half of his bio is when he's in school. Look at that. All the way down. That's it. He hasn't done anything. Nothing. YouTube channel. Man, YouTube. Fucking loser. Anyway. Okay, you got the right to be a loser, dude. You got the right to be shameless. Okay, it's your call. Here you go. You can just read all this. You see that? So these people are not providing a proper affiliate disclosure. They're hiding the disclosure on purpose. This is not legal. Hey, legal eagle, you're not being legal. Who would trust you? Oh, that's right. YouTube. The dumbasses who watch YouTube because they're fucking dumb as dirt. They're dumb as dirt. See that? See that, folks? You got to click this. And even after you click this, okay, you're getting fatigued reading all his affiliate links. Fatigue, ebook, social media, oh my God, my head's fucking spinning. All the way down at the bottom. No, that's not proper, dude. No, I highly recommend you reposition your affiliate disclosure. I've been talking about this. I've been pointing this out to all these YouTube grifters for several years. Nobody wants to listen to me. Okay. You can just read it for yourself, folks. Okay. So let's go now to this this video. So I thought it was just basically a way to encourage people to get out and vote. You know, just to, okay, that's fine. But it turns out to be a hit job on Donald Trump. Now, let me just say before I begin, I don't support Trump. I don't support Harris. I don't support a fraudulent democratic system that's in America. It's a scam. The vote doesn't fucking matter. Okay? I'm not a dummy. If you're a dummy, you vote. Okay? However, I will say this. I will say that I believe America is facing a critical crisis right now. And we're talking about the border crisis. We're talking about a social crisis where you're seeing all types of crazy things going on. And, you know, unfortunately, it's pretty sad and disgusting when you have to settle for, in the best of scenarios, the outcome would be maybe to be more stringent on the border. In other words, that's all you're going to get at best with Trump. You're not going to get bringing the jobs back to America unless there's a major national security issue, such as a definitive Cold War, if not worse, which I think we're getting closer to that. In other words, Trump's not going to do it on his own. Trump is about protecting the corporate profits because you know who runs Trump. Okay, Trump is run by the Wall Street guys. I mean, they're all run by Wall Street, but Trump especially more so. And that's why he didn't bring the jobs back before, right? So my point is that you would think Americans would have a chance to get a affordable, accessible healthcare system if they voted the right way eventually, right? And they've been trying now for decades and it hasn't happened. You would think Americans would have a chance by voting eventually to reclaim their careers and jobs by ending outsourcing, right? Which has destroyed, it's gutted middle class and working class America, which I wrote about almost 20 years ago. One reason why I was banned. Okay. But the fact is that in the best of scenarios, what you're looking at here today with this election, in the best of scenarios, is addressing the border and maybe some other societal issues, like, for instance, not allowing these fucking vagrants to go out and just steal things and just walk out of stores with all kinds of merchandise, which is, it's just like, I can't even believe it. So that's the best you're going to get, which is, it's disgusting and sad. However, I will say this: America is such a critical period right now that maybe you have to settle for that. Maybe you have to settle for that. That's how bad things are in America. And they've gotten this way over many years. It's actually began, decades ago, but of course it's accelerated most recently over the past recent years, specifically through the Democrats. And once again, I'm not Republican or Democrat. I've never registered as either, okay, ever, because I only voted one time for an independent, Ross Perot. And I'm proud to say that because my vote was correct. I was correct. And I've never seen since that time where I've had a real choice of someone who's going to do something the right thing for the people. So I guess I was pretty informed and pretty clever back in my early days, I suppose, before I knew anything about business economics or anything. I was still immersed in science, but I guess, maybe I could see through some things. I don't know. So I'm not going to play this whole video, and I didn't see the whole video. I just kind of scanned through it. But what I noticed is the whole video basically, or at least half of the video, more than half of the video, he's going through and summarizing the reasons why Trump is a terrible person. So most of the video is telling you Trump is a bad guy. He's a criminal. He's a dishonest guy. He's an immoral guy. He's a bad guy. He's surrounded with bad people. And he's going through his criminal record, all the things, all the controversies. That's what he's doing. Okay? Here's the point. Folks, all politicians are goddamn crooks. All of them. Write it the fuck down. Is Trump a bigger crook and con man than many of them, than most of them? Yes, he is. In fact, one of the first articles I ever wrote in 2008, I was calling Trump out as a fucking con artist. Cheeseball con man. I've known he's a con man for a long time. It's just obvious. Okay? No doubt about it. So you can't sit here and say, okay, he's a crook. Well, they're all fucking crooks. Right? So the morality of the person at this point isn't an issue. What's an issue is there's a critical thing going on. There's a crisis going on in America. Okay? And unfortunately, once again, addressing the border, I mean, it's just disgusting that you have to settle for that, even, possibly all you're going to get. Maybe not even that. Because there's so many other problems in America. Not just economic, social problems, right? I didn't even get into the whole wokeness, right? Any of that stuff. So I'm not going to play the video. I'll just maybe play a few little clips of that. Then we're going to get to the main point. Just give you a flavor.
As detailed in the DC prosecution, this was only the most visible part of a larger conspiracy to make sure that the election certification never happened. As you can see, many of Trump's crimes and conduct strike at the heart of our democracy. They are both self-serving and anti-democratic. The hush money payments were meant to keep the information from hurting him in the election. The Ukrainian blackmail scheme was for the purpose of soliciting a bribe in the form of fabricating dirt on his presumptive who he claims are the enemies from within. You don't have to take our word for it. Many of Trump's key appointees and advisors will absolutely not vote for him in 2024. The list.
So
Policy.
I just wanted to give you guys a flavor for that. That's 11 and a half minutes of this is what he goes through, right? He goes through all this stuff. And of course, keep in mind not to be an apologist for Trump because I don't like the guy. I just see him as just part of he's part of the whole political swamp. He's no different. He just knows how to tell people what they want to hear. And keep in mind that Harris hasn't really done anything. I mean, if she was a president instead of Biden this 4 years, it'd be a lot of dirt on her. I can guarantee you that. The vice president typically doesn't do anything. They just sit around and fucking, do nothing. So there's not a whole lot on her for that reason. But you better believe she gets into office, stuff will come out because they're all fucking crooks. They're all fucking crooks. They're all liars. That's just the way it is. Not just in America, around the world. That's the way it is. Okay. So crony capitalism. We're going to talk about this. Now I want you all to listen to this carefully and let's see what he has to say. I didn't listen to this whole thing. I just listened to a little bit, enough to make it important. Okay. Make sure you can hear this.
Preferences. There are some who welcome Trump's plan to place tariffs on all foreign goods. In other words, a sales tax of up to 200% on anything made outside of the United States, a tax that you, the consumer, would pay, which would cause all Americans to pay thousands more per year. in one instance, an iPhone might cost as much as $4,000. And then,
okay, so this is the first thing. This is disinformation. This is bullshit. This reminds me of about close to 20 years ago. I can remember hearing this some senator from Oklahoma or something coming out and trying to scare people, telling them, well, we can't raise minimum wage. If you want to raise minimum wage, you're going to be paying $15 for a Big Mac. So what they do, the con artist tactic is what they'll do is they'll try to appeal to your consumer greed, because they know Americans have, they've been transformed into fucking consumer slaves. So they'll try to appeal to your selfish greed and need for consumption, just like this guy did. Oh, iPhone's going to be $4,000. Think about that. Did he talk about, maybe something important, like, because he could have if he's smart, but the guy's not. He's not that clever, obviously, or not too knowledgeable in economics. Doesn't know what's going on, really. If he was clever, he would say, "Oh, talk about the cost of, I don't know, something more important, right?" But they want to appeal to stupid things like the iPhone, and he calls it a tax. He calls it an import tax. No, it's not a tax, and no, customers aren't going to be paying necessarily for the higher cost, right? There's no tax. There's no guarantee who's going to pay for those iPhones or anything else. In other words, who's going to eat that cost? Maybe it'll be somewhat consumers. Maybe it'll be somewhat the manufacturers, the retail guys. Nobody knows, right? Number one. Number two, hey, genius boy, failed attorney boy, YouTube attorney guy who posts fucking scammy affiliate links and doesn't post proper FTC disclosure. What do you think the purpose of tariffs are? The purpose, genius boy, is to bring the motherfucking jobs back to America. We don't need to pay Chinese in their fucking labor camps and prison camps to manufacture goods for us. Cheap shit that breaks down. That money should go to fueling American jobs, so we can pull people off the streets, pull people off drugs, give people some hope and opportunity. Got it, boy? You got it? Folks, I know about this very dearly. I wrote about this in detail and warned Americans about this in America's Financial Apocalypse. Stick around to the end, and I'm going to play the video, and you'll see the excerpts from my book on trade. Okay? So you all get that now? He's trying to make, oh gosh, the tariffs are bad. The tariffs are bad. That's the first point, the economic issue there. The tariffs have a reason. China is cheating. They are cheating. Okay? They are using government subsidies to cheat. Okay? The second main point, which of course he's not going to talk about, it's national security. It's national security. We don't want to deal with China. They are stealing our intellectual property. Okay? They're stealing it onshore with our companies, and they're hacking in to U.S. companies and U.S. government agencies. So there's an issue with the Chinese government. We don't want this because China is building up their military, and we're helping them. U.S. corporations have essentially built up the Chinese military over the past 3 decades with all their outsourcing and all the money. And the consumers have helped. U.S. consumers have helped by lining up to buy all this cheap fucking bullshit from China. No one's saying anything about that. So those tariffs have a fucking purpose, genius boy. But you understand that? You don't hear that, do you? He just instead wants to manipulate people with disinformation and tell them, oh, you don't want tariffs. It's going to be bad. It's going to cause inflation. You're going to have to pay $4,000 for an iPhone. You see that? He wants you to think about yourself. The greed factor. Okay.
Of course, other countries would retaliate by levying the same tariffs on U.S. goods, which would...
So we don't have an export economy. It doesn't fucking matter. You got it? The thing we're exporting primarily is what countries need. You know what that is? You know what we export that countries fucking need? Can't do without, can't replace? Our fucking technology. Got it? Because we're the big swinging dick. America runs the fucking world. You got it? We don't care if they put tariffs on our fucking oranges and our wine and beef. We don't give a shit. They're not going to be able to put tariffs on our technology products and our pharmaceutical and medical devices. You understand? We run all that shit. You got it? See, China exports cheap garbage that nobody needs. Nobody needs their cheap shit. Nobody needs China to manufacture anything. Corporations do it because they want to cut costs. They don't do it because they have to. Nobody needs to buy anything from China. And the Chinese government illegally subsidizes the industries in China to lower the costs, to incentivize outsourcing. And then what's happened over the years, these Chinese industries have copied using technology transfer and theft. They've built their own competitive companies. And what are they doing now? They're using the Chinese government subsidies to illegally dump their products into the market at prices under cost, trying to force all these countries with their companies into bankruptcy so they can control the whole fucking market. That's what they're doing. Folks, I wrote about this shit almost 20 years ago when China it entered the international trade game. I saw it back then. Tell me who else did. You all don't even understand who the fuck I am and what I've done. I know who I am and what I've done. That's why I know I'm the top motherfucker out there. Go by the fucking evidence. You got it? You don't go by what the media says. You get that fucking book and you read it. I don't make a penny off it. You study the goddamn thing and you'll fucking see it now. 20 years later and you see, holy shit, this guy must have had some type of crystal ball or something. How the fuck did he know all this stuff? Why was I banned, folks? You see that? Anyway.
U.S. exports. But that's not necessarily illegal. But those who think that Trump would be better for the...
You see, folks, here's the issue. And I remember I talked about this back in 2017, 2018. 2017, the tariff talks were heating up, and they came through in 2018. Right? Remember, Trump was focused on the tax cuts of 2017. 2018 is when he started his trade policy. And the whole media, of course, the media, they're all globalists, right? They're all globalists, you understand. So they were claiming that Trump started a trade war. No, he didn't start a trade war. Trump finally, and I give him credit, finally, after all these years, after decades, decides to fight back and raise tariffs because all these countries around the world have been fucking America. I wrote about this stuff for years and years. It started with the Japanese decades ago. Okay? One-way street. These countries, especially in Asia, they want a one-way street. They don't believe in competition in Asia. You all know that? You all understand the mentality in Asia? The mentality is basically about control. They want control because this is why they have all their fucking mafias. Taxi mafia, umbrella mafia on the beaches, all this. It's about control. They're very anti-competitive. This is the way it is. So,
the economy failed to take into consideration the effect of Trump's lawlessness on this country and the economy. The only other economic plan that he talks about would be to deport tens of millions of immigrants, many of whom came to this country as children and lived as Americans for decades.
So notice he's addressing this whole issue. Does he give you the full picture? No. Does he talk about the millions and millions of illegal aliens that have come across the border for years? And he's talking about Americans. He's saying people who were born in America, they're legal, and yet they face possible deportation by Trump. Well, guess what? If your parents are in America illegally and you're born in America, I don't think you're legal. Sorry. You need to be fucking deported. Okay? That's like a fucking fugitive. You are breaking U.S. law, and so your kid is legal because your kid is born in America when you're breaking U.S. law? Anyone that thinks that thinks that is it should be the case, it's got mental fucking illness. So this is what this guy, his whole thing is about. Oh, he doesn't talk about the tearing down of our country, stealing jobs, illegals willing to work for less because they're sending their money home, not to mention all the social welfare benefits they are stealing from you. All these illegals, and look, I'm not blaming the illegals. Look, they come from, they're struggling to survive. They're going to do what they can do to survive. I'm sorry, but we're not a charity. I'm sorry, but I'm not willing to sacrifice my Social Security, right, and my Medicare for you. Many of these illegals, maybe all of them, I know a lot of them, are getting free medical care. There are special programs for them, by the way. They're getting free medical care, as well as many other things. Where's that money coming from, folks? It's ultimately coming from you, from your bank account. I think maybe this sounds wrong, but I would like my tax money to go to American citizens. Is there something wrong with that? Maybe that's like a radical idea. Maybe that makes me kind of a lunatic in this day and age, right? You see? So notice how he spins all that. He's spinning this whole thing as if he's on the Harris election committee. And this, you know, he can be ignorant about economics and trade, but he knows about this. He's not telling people about this. He's not raising that issue. We are facing a economic and social crisis with the illegals pouring into America. It's a goddamn disaster. And anybody who doesn't recognize that, boy, you better go see a fucking neurologist and have your fucking heads examined.
This policy, while likely completely infeasible, would also be a disaster for the economy and do next to nothing for high prices. But more importantly...
So you notice, so he doesn't explain that. So he's saying the deportation of these people who I think are illegal is going to be a disaster for our economy and do nothing for high prices. You all understand. He doesn't explain that, but what he's saying basically is, he doesn't explain it for a reason, by the way. You all know you all understand why, right? You understand why he's saying it's going to be bad for the economy and it's going to raise prices. You all understand why? See, there's a reason why he doesn't want to say it. So what he's saying basically is that these people, if they leave the country, well, we'll have fewer people to work, and that's going to raise prices. What he doesn't explicitly tell you this because he knows that those people who maybe were born in America and who are possibly considered legal, I don't think so, but hasn't been challenged, I guess, thoroughly at this point. What about their parents, right? So if they're all being deported, think about the jobs that they are taking away. These are the lower income jobs, right? Generally speaking, right? So he's talking about this. This is the same kind of, this guy should be joining with Bernie Sanders. Remember I told you all about Bernie Sanders? Bernie Sanders is the fake, the fake liberal who wants to tell you that, hey, let the illegals in, let all, they support the illegals, right? But he also tells you that he wants to raise minimum wage. And I've pointed this out. If you close the fucking border, minimum wage is going to raise on its own. Minimum wage is going nowhere because you got so many illegals coming across the border. And it keeps minimum wage down. That's why it doesn't go up. You could actually raise minimum wage by natural market forces if you close the fucking borders. And people went through a proper immigration process. Not to mention, folks, you got to understand, if you don't have a border, you don't have a fucking country. Okay? I'm not going to get into my opinions on the makeup of America. But of course, you can look in the history. I mean, I don't know why America has been historically a white European country, primarily. I don't know why they're not permitted to maintain that racial and ethnic proportion, right? I mean, why is that being destroyed? I'm not going to even get into that. I'm not going to get into that. The point I'm going to get into is nothing wrong with immigration. Nothing wrong with immigration. There has to be a process. You have to put people through a process where they're respecting your laws. They're learning about your country, the laws, the culture, some about the language, right? So they go through a process, and when they become naturalized citizen, then they feel like they're American. They're patriotic, they're loyal, right? They're upstanding citizens. I have no problem with that. You can't just open the fucking gates, the floodgates, and let everybody through. You do that and you're talking about the destruction of a country. You have no respect for the people. This is why you have all this crime going on. I mean, this is just common sense. It's common sense. You can't do that. He doesn't talk about that. He focuses on the dreamers, right? Why doesn't he talk about that? Tells you about this guy.
Trump's destruction of the rule of law, free speech, and free elections would itself be terrible for the economy. Individuals and businesses rely on the notion that government will apply the law even-handedly, and they even require the freedom to be critical of the government without fear of government reprisal. And they need to know that when a politician is voted out of office, they will leave.
So anyway, I just wanted to point, this is the main reason why. So I'm sure Mr. Devon Stone will come across this video. Hey, buddy, let's go. You want to respond? You want to go on a neutral platform? We can debate, boy. You want to go, boy? We can debate. Now, you won't do that because you'll be exposed. I exposed the truth in this video. I revealed the disinformation that you spewed out. I showed your ignorance and lack of regard for the truth. It's disgusting. Once again, I don't have a dog in this fight. I'm not like a pro-Trump person. I think they're all fucking crooks. But I think it's very dishonest for him to have come out and focused on all Trump's legal issues when, oh, he's such a bad person. Wait a second. We're facing a crisis in America. We want all the shoplifting, the fucking theft of these stores to stop. Right? We want the borders to be closed. We want a safe country. Right? I would say that's what I would like. Let's have a look here. Just a reminder here what's going on in this country.
Another brazen theft at a San Francisco drugstore caught on video. It comes after the governor and local officials pledged to crack down on crime that has forced so many stores to close down. Our crime reporter Henry Lee joins us now live. He's at SFPD headquarters with the latest. Henry.
Yeah, it's been happening over and over, Julie. Thieves thinking they can steal things with impunity, thinking they will never get caught. That's an issue that brought a candidate for governor to San Francisco today. It's happened again. 4 women run off after stealing from the CVS. Organized retail theft has become such a hot-button issue that it's now a point of focus in the upcoming gubernatorial recall.
Target announced this week that it's planning to close several stores, citing retail theft and organized retail crime as major problems. Others point to a disturbing number of smash-and-grab robberies, including looting in Philadelphia earlier this week. The National Retail Federation said its latest survey of members found that inventory loss cost retailers about $112 billion.
You know, Mr. Stone likes to tell you fiction and claim that you're going to pay higher prices with Trump's tariffs. He doesn't talk about how, guess what? Maybe it's more important for us to have good jobs. Let's focus on us as workers, not consumers. Bring the jobs back. Bring the iPhone facility to America. Okay, so we can support American people, American jobs. He doesn't talk about all this stuff, right? What you're looking at here, this is the Biden administration has allowed this shit. This is the Democrats, the liberals have allowed this stuff. You think that this is not causing prices to increase in America? All this theft? He doesn't want to talk about that, does he? Right?
It's just happening too often, and it's just terribly, terribly upsetting. You know, my children are like, you have to move out of the city, and this is where I live, though.
Those robberies started Tuesday after an earlier protest when charges were dropped against an officer who shot and killed a man during a traffic stop.
I mean, listen, can you believe this? I mean, this is just, these people should be in prison. They're tearing down national monuments. I mean, this is Now, where do you think these people get this crazy idea, right? So these historical figures, these historical leaders are supposed to be KKK. Folks, you can't go back in history and judge people and judge things and say they're bad. That's the whole mechanism that this mafia is pulling on people to manipulate them. You didn't live back then. You don't know the reality. You don't know how the value system was. Let it be. It's history. It's history. Don't erase history. Don't revise history. But of course, this mafia has a lot of experience on revisionary history, as you all might know, and creating a lot of false narratives that gives them power. I mean, can you believe this? These people are under mind control. They've been completely brainwashed. Apparently, not many people saw this video. This is take 4. Right, it's pretty much the same from the beginning, and then they have the end where the escape is to. That's going to be always different.
This column of humanity heading north from the countries of Central and South America and well beyond too.
See that? They're headed to America, folks. Why not? Just the borders are open. Come on. Get your free welfare.
North to the United States. The number of people crossing illegally into America this past year has been staggering. 10,000 a day last week, and nearly 250,000 encountered by the US border officials in November. It has been a record-breaking year, and objectively, it seems clear that the US government has lost any sense of control.
Quiet neighborhoods, very peaceful.
She's one of many surprised after the Palm Beach County Sheriff's Office arrested these 3 men. A spokesperson for the Sheriff's Office says all 3 are undocumented immigrants from Guatemala. They face various...
Their lives packed on top of a moving freight train known as the Beast. Migrants seeking a new beginning over the Mexican border. These mostly from Venezuela, men, women and children, families clambering aboard where they can outside the Mexican town of Arapuato. They're part of a new wave of thousands amid a surge in illegal migration to the U.S.
Tonight, we take a ground-level look at the effects of crime committed by illegal immigrants, many of whom have been deported multiple times.
And this happened at the Paso del Norte Bridge in El Paso, Texas. Now, this connects El Paso to Ciudad Juarez, Mexico, and CBP.
Look at this. I mean, this is unbelievable.
He says that they deployed physical barriers to stop this attempted mass entry into the United States.
Folks, when you have an issue like this, when you have these issues, why do you think a gangster, a con man like Trump got elected before? And why he's probably going to get elected again? Because of the things are so fucked up that the status quo that's causing these problems, people are desperate. They're desperate. And once again, I'm not a Trump supporter, but I mean, something has got to happen. It's just, I can't even believe it. Of course, you're not going to hear the media talk about the obvious, right? Right? Take a look at these looters. I mean, it's unbelievable.
Oh my God! A shopper cannot believe what she sees when she enters her local supermarket to buy groceries for her family.
This is sad. This is sad.
For 15 hours straight, looters have laid waste to the store. Some of them are still inside.
This is the problem.
This surveillance video shows the first moments of the break-in.
I mean, this footage is sufficient for some other talking points alone, which I would love to discuss. But I just can't talk about it on ScamTube.
In Beverly Hills, a 1 p.m. curfew went into effect today, all part of an effort to prevent some of the looting and violence that happened in locations around Los Angeles, particularly in areas that have come to symbolize the difference between the haves and the have-nots. Jim Murray has the latest.
Looting now underway in Beverly Hills.
Mayhem in Beverly Hills as looters storm the luxury clothing store Alexander McQueen and make off with thousands of dollars worth of goods. In upscale Santa Monica, devastating destruction as looters attack business after business.
Hey guys, you see this?
Extraordinary footage shows a woman using her body to try to stop looters, one armed with a hammer, from smashing their way into a sporting goods store. She's violently pulled away in this dramatic footage shot by Fox 11 in Los Angeles. Despite her efforts, looters make off with bicycles and backpacks. At Patagonia, they flee with surfboards. These looters make their getaway on a motorcycle. Bedlam at this van store. Looters pile out with shoeboxes. Watch this dude slip and fall. This guy grabs a shoebox, then tells a KCBS reporter why he's doing it.
People need to start chaos in order to make their point across.
Aerial shots show looters pouring out of Santa Monica Place Mall. One street over, I spotted people casually strolling with allegedly stolen goods. This guy proudly showed off his box to me. And this disturbing footage shows a man using an aerosol can to torch a San Bernardino DMV. Today, I'm getting an up-close look inside a CVS that's utterly trashed.
The alarm at this drugstore is still going off hours after the destruction. And as you look around, you can see this wasn't just looted. It was ransacked, items thrown from the shelves and destroyed.
Ask yourself, all the stuff that I know, why am I being banned? Well, there you go. I was banned a long time ago. They don't want people to know the reality. They're getting fucked in so many ways. That's why you don't hear anything that I've talked about. It's not because it's not true. It's all factual. You don't hear it because they don't want you to understand what's going on. They want to give you just enough, a sliver of the truth, so that you'll believe them and trust them. And they're not going to give you the full story, you see? And they're going to give you mythology, just like our friend, Mr. Stone. Mr. Stone wanted to give you his little narrative, his very one-dimensional, one-sided narrative to basically support Harris, telling you why Trump is such a terrible person and trying to scare you, telling you you're going to pay so much higher prices if Trump is elected because of the tariffs, economy is going to be bad, right? Not telling you the truth, not talking about the critical things. You see? People like this guy, Stone, are very dangerous and very deceitful and disgust me. That's why I specifically pointed this out. This guy makes me sick. And any fucking day, this guy wants to go up against me on a neutral platform, let him fucking know. Of course, like all these fuckers, he'll be MIA. Okay? Remember, these Disinfo con men, they all fear two things: the truth and work. The truth and work, because the truth might cause them to have to work instead of grifting. You see? This guy should have just shut his fucking mouth and done his little stupid, read from his little legal script. Not come out and start talking about all this nonsense. You know? And believe me, once again, I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm a supporter for the best interest of America and of American citizens. Unfortunately, I don't think it matters too much who's in office, but maybe there'll be a little bit of an improvement with Trump if he does focus on the border. You all saw what's going on. It's just not even believable. Similar situation to some degree in Europe. You don't have a country if you don't have borders. It's that simple. All I can say is, you know, I mean, if I have my career on YouTube, I'd feel like a loser. I'd probably I feel like just a failure. But, you know, when you got people out there that have no self-respect, they have no dignity, and they're money worshipers, they don't really look at anything other than money, how they can get it, as much as they can get, whatever they have to do to get it, you see? And that's what you have on YouTube. That's exactly what you have with these people on YouTube that are monetizing. They're just scum. They're all scum. Once again, if it were possible, if it were possible for this to happen, I would give my life if YouTube were permanently shut down. That's not possible, of course. So if there were a possibility, I would, because it would be a great cause. It would be such an amazing thing to do for humanity. Of course, it wouldn't be the end all. You've got so many other platforms that are scams out there, but it'd be a pretty good. It's that bad, and something's got to be done. The only thing I can think of, really, you know, at this point, is educating people, educating parents. The problem is a lot of these parents are on ScamTube. They've got their own channels. They're just stupid. I mean, these are the same parents that didn't see a problem 25 years ago. They saw no problem at all when J.C. Penney named Ellen DeGeneres as their official spokesperson or their official whatever. That's fine. They didn't see a problem with that. See, that was kind of the early stage, right? And you see what's going on today. You see? Kind of like people didn't see a problem back in the 90s when Bill Clinton admitted that he had smoked marijuana publicly. He admitted that. People didn't see a problem with that. You see? I mean, how do you think I remember that? Boom, just like that. because I recognize it as a problem, a huge problem. I was much younger at the time, and I even recognized that as a huge, huge problem. When you have a person of high authority figure, who is basically saying it's okay to smoke marijuana, you're basically endorsing it. It's an implicit endorsement to engage in illegal drug activity for kids. You see? Of course, Bill Clinton was one of the biggest scumbags in all of politics, all of political history, one of the biggest scumbags, him and Al Gore. And of course, Bill Clinton was the guy who approved NAFTA, right? Which has been by far, the single most destructive force for Americans, the vast majority of Americans. But people still don't even realize that. Because once again, folks, you have certain people that control all media, and they decide the talking points. They decide who's going to talk about what, and they decide who they're going to have on to so-called debate them. You understand? That's why I've talked about this before. Whatever you hear about, of course, medical healthcare has not been, they don't even want to talk about it in the elections. That's one of the last things they want to talk about. Same thing with the last election. But whenever you hear some debate about medical care, healthcare in America, it's a fake debate. It's a fake debate. It's not a real debate. It's kind of like one of these debates that Peter Schiff gets involved with. It's a fake debate. Like, he doesn't have real people that are going to really debate him, really smack him down with the facts. It's kind of like, oh, okay, we're buddies. Well, okay, we'll just, right? You see? So Americans are fooled. So they're not hearing, they're not hearing both sides on the healthcare debate. They're not getting the truth. You see? It's done in order to fool people. I mean, healthcare is America's biggest problem. And people are going to see that. They're going to see that not so far off, because the baby boomers are getting older and older, hitting that medical system. And you're going to hear more and more about people who didn't have money to pay their medical bills. Not just medical bankruptcies, which lead the country in personal bankruptcies every year. Over 50% of all personal bankruptcies. You're going to hear about some crazy things, what people are going to have to do to get by.